Hi everyone, my name is Julie. This is Keep Calm with Books and Coffee, and today I'm kicking off the holiday romance vlog. I wanted to read a bunch of holiday romances in December, and I'm hoping that I'm going to do that. I think I have 4 or 5 things that are possibilities, so I am not sure which ones are going to make it into the vlog, so it'll be a surprise as we go. Hello and welcome to my kitchen cabinet. It is the first day that I'm reading a holiday romance for 2023, and I am reading The Mistletoe Motive by Chloe Liese. This is my favorite holiday romance of last year, so I wanted to revisit it, and I'm really excited because it's already fun. It's a workplace enemies to lovers, so they're not enemies, although, what's her name? Gabriella may tell you differently. Enemies to lovers who work in a bookstore, and they are tasked, I believe they have to outsell each other. They create a bet to see who is gonna sell the most during the holiday season, and the other one has to leave because I think the owners are like, we can't afford both of you. So they're in competition. And then there is also a you've got mail element to this book, which is my favorite in a book. It's my favorite thing in a romance when there's a you've got mail element where there's they know each other through another way and one of them figures it out, and I love that. Anyway, this is a little novella. I don't think I'll probably read it all tonight, but I will read a lot of it tonight, and I'm about to sit down in my living room over there under a blanket with the Christmas tree on and read this, and I'm very excited. Hello. So it is later in the evening, and I have obviously changed, but I finished The Mistletoe Motive earlier, and like I said, this was a reread, and I really, really enjoyed it. This is so cute. I do think that when I first read it last year, I gave it a 5-star. And I am going to keep that rating because I enjoyed the reread so much, and the enjoyment level was still so high. But there were things about it this time that I kind of nitpicked at. So I love this because, like I said, it has a you've got mail element. It has an enemies to lovers in the workplace, but neither one of them is a bad person or overly harsh to each other. Relationship. I really like the little details in here about the hero and how he pays attention to things about the heroine, and I just really love this dynamic between the two of them. But when we get towards the end of the book and they get together, it feels like it changes a little bit. It doesn't, I don't know how to describe it. It feels like their personalities shift a little bit once they're friendly to one another. So I kind of noticed that this time, and I also just really wish we got the hero's perspective throughout this book, because there's so many times where you can tell almost that if this was a full-length novel, the author would have switched to his perspective and told you what is going on in his head, but because it's a novella, we only get Gabriella's perspective. And then at the end, we get his voice in the epilogue, and I think that I would have just enjoyed this. I like 2 perspectives in my romance novels, so that's just a personal preference, and I do wish that that was a thing. But that's my updates for this. I'm not sure what I'm going to read next. It might be I have tried to start that a couple of times. It's a compilation of short stories by Latinx authors, but I didn't love the first story, so I'm not sure if I'm gonna read that. I almost have to get through that first story to convince myself to go on with the next one. So if I don't read that, I do have Love in Winter Wonderland, as well as it's not 4 Weddings and a Funeral, but that's what I keep thinking of because that's the old movie that it sounds like. It's 4 holidays and a wedding, I think. So it would probably be one of those 2 if it's not a more actually. So we will move on from here. Hi everyone, so this is a quick update. I have my coat on, I'm ready to leave. I'm doing a quick turnaround after work to go meet my sister for dinner, and I just wanted to do a quick vlog update because I started a more actually in earnest. I read the first 2 stories and I read the description of the third, and what I don't like about this so far, and I hear this changes, is that the first 3 stories all have like power dynamics in them that are a little questionable. Like the first one is about a pop star and her manager. The second is about the mayor of New York City and one of the people that he's like working with as like that's kind of part of a volunteer thing, I think. And then the third is about a parent and a teacher. And I'm gonna skip the parent teacher one because I like reading the description, it gave me the ick and I don't think it's gonna work for me. But the first 2 were like a little questionable. They did address it, they did talk about it, and I think it was handled like okay, but the stories also were just okay for me. So this is so far like very middle of the road. I'm hoping that I will like more as we keep going because I really wanted to like this, but a lot of the stories, out of the 2 I've read so far, we've had a lot going on within the stories, and then so it feels like we aren't focused on the couple. So that's my main complaint so far. But yeah, and I read those stories last night and the description and everything, and then I'm just starting Wreck the Halls by Tessa Bailey. Tonight is the sprints on Brittany or Kelsey's channel. I think it's Brittany's tonight to read. So I'm gonna go to dinner with my sister and try to make it back so that I can read some on those sprints, but I started the audiobook in this like hour that I have to like get home, turn around, and head back out for dinner. So that I am a little bit caught up because I do want to read on sprints because that's fun to kind of read the book all at the same time. So I'm going to try to do that tonight. And so far, after about 2 chapters, I find this interesting. I have never read Tessa Bailey before and I am intrigued. I liked the prologue, so I'm intrigued to see where this goes. But anyway, I'm off to dinner. I'm going to go get a burger at our favorite spot. So I'm really excited. And yeah, that's my update. My chair is sinking. We're just gonna have to deal with it, and then we will be talking. How far down will it go? Is it stopped? I think it's stopped. I hate this chair. I really need to replace it. It just randomly sinks on me. The hydraulics on it are totally out. But this is an update for Amore, actually, which is a holiday collection of short stories that I've been talking about with you guys on this vlog. I skipped one story. I think I might have told you that. I'm skipping a story that has a parent-teacher romance. That just did not appeal to me. I moved on to I think the next one was the 2 adult film stars, and that one had so much chemistry. That's my favorite of the bunch so far. It was just so good. The characters had like a little bit of backstory. It was cute. It was short, a little steamy, but sweet. Just really loved that one. And now this next one, I didn't honestly read the description of the next one, but I wanted to tell you how much I really loved the one I just read. But this collection so far is like pretty mid. I like the stories, but I like the stories that I've read, but I don't love them. I have a few that I'm pretty sure I'm gonna skip because of they're just not the tropes that I like, or they're not gonna appeal to me for one reason or another. But I'm hoping to get this done. It's due back to the library tomorrow, so it will expire and we'll see where I'm at with it. But overall, this one's okay. I started Wreck the Halls on sprints the other night with Brittany and, it was Brittany's sprints and I don't think Kelsey was on. I was sort of like tired that night, so I don't really remember what happened. But it was Brittany, and I started Wreck the Halls and it's really not jiving for me. I'm trying to keep up with it. I read the first 4 or 5 chapters and I just can't. I think we were all sort of on the same page on the sprints that it's weird that these 2 people can't stop thinking about one like 2-minute interaction that they had 14 years ago. Like, they've mentioned this one interaction so many times. They don't have any like backstory other than this one interaction and that their mothers know each other. So it's a little weird. I am gonna like stick with it because I like the audiobook and it's not terrible. Like, it's not bad. It's just I don't quite understand why these 2 people, and it's got the whole like brooding hero. Like he's not good enough for her, and she's like this sweet little girl and everything. It just feels a little weird, but I'm gonna I'm gonna keep going with it, and I'm hoping it'll pick up once the like plot kicks in, because it's been a lot of setup so far. So I'm hoping that once we get into the like more of the plot and more of their interactions without this like producer person in it, that we'll see how it goes. But anyway, those are my updates for now. We will keep reading holiday romances, and I will keep updating you. That's it for now. Bye. Hi everyone. So I have finished Amor Actually, so I will put the cover here if you want to see it, and a link to the Storygraph if you want to check it out. This was a pretty solid story collection overall, I think. I did skip 2 of the stories because the tropes didn't appeal to me, and then I did skim a lot of the last story in the book, mostly because and this is sort of my fault, throughout the book there is like this running thread that all of the couples are going to end up at Gigi's party on Christmas Eve. And for some reason I thought Gigi was everybody's grandma. And I don't know if I just missed something and sort of made that assumption just because of the way they talked about going to this party being like a standing tradition for people of all ages. Like it kind of just like in my brain, and this like traditional party was like a grandma's party, like a grandma throwing a party for her whole family. And then Gigi ended up being like 27, and she was the last romance story of the last story in the book, and it just totally threw me for a loop. And that was all on me. So I did read her story, but I sort of skimmed it because I mostly wanted to see the party at the end. There were a couple that I really enjoyed, and the rest were sort of mid. So it's going to end up somewhere between a 3 and a 4 star. To copy a phrase from Aoife from Pretty Purple Polka Dots, this was a book and I read it, and it's not going to stand out to me. But I did enjoy, my time with it. Hello everyone. So I have started 3 Holidays and a Wedding, and this might already be on the chopping block. This is set in 2000, when 3 major holidays fall on the same time within a few days of each other. It's Christmas, Hanukkah, and Eid, and the airport, this is sort of a saga of people on a plane who are trying to get to their various holiday celebrations, but the plane experiences turbulence, and I think they have to emergency land somewhere far away from everything else that's happening. And also, it just, I think they all confess things to one another during the bumpy plane ride. So we've had 2 perspectives so far, and I really don't like one, and I only sort of like the other. So I'm gonna try to give this through the plane ride to see if that sort of loosens everybody up, because it feels like everyone is being really fake right now, and I don't like it. So this might be a DNF. This is very easily could be a DNF in the next 20 pages or so, but we'll see what happens. Unfortunately, this one's a DNF. I just don't like it. There's a lot going on in this book, and I just don't like how a lot of the characters are behaving, and I don't care to see if they improve. So for me, this one is just not working. So I specifically don't like Anna's perspective. I think she's ignoring so many red flags in her relationship and in her life, and both of these characters are having a really hard time standing up for themselves. And because they're both having this problem, it kind of just gets very frustrating throughout the whole book, because it's not just one character who's having this problem, both of them are. And it also is just hilariously unbelievable at points. There's this point where they're on the plane, and Anna, the one main character, is trying to get ready for the flight, and she does 6 things in a row that she has to apologize for, and it's just gets to a level of ridiculousness that I don't believe. So I didn't like this. Hello everyone. So this is the wrap up for Wreck the Halls, and kind of the wrap up for the vlog too. Wreck the Halls gets a 2 out of 5 stars from me. I thought it was gonna be a 3, and then I thought it was gonna be a 2.5, and I finally have settled on 2, just because the longer I thought about it, the less I liked it, and the more I almost DNF'd this book at 75%, but I thought I'm in this deep now. I want to see the reunion of the mothers because they were the only characters that I really liked. And so I stuck with it for that, and it was fine. I'm glad I saw the reunion. There's nothing exceptionally wrong with this book. I just didn't like so many things about it. Like, it was like a mid book, but then there were specific things that didn't work for me that brought it down to a 2. Like, for instance, Beat is a super overprotective character, and sometimes if that's overdone, like this was in my opinion, like he just became protective in every single scene for like, I don't want to say for no reason, but like even when he was like during the third act breakup, he was like overprotective, and it just started to grate on me. It also grates on me when authors consistently tell me that one of their characters is not good for the other, because I'm like, you need to stop this or I'm gonna believe it. And it just starts to bother me as we get deeper in the book that the character is still like, I am so terrible for her, and tells me every single page. Their names, Beat and Melody, were a little annoying, and it didn't have any Christmas. There was no Christmas in this book. There was nothing like remotely festive holiday in this book, and it drove me crazy. Yeah, there was just obviously a lot of things that I didn't like about it. And so 2 out of 5 stars. I was hoping to read Love in Wonderland, Winter Wonderland, for this vlog, but it's getting really close to Christmas. I'd like to wrap this vlog up. I already read 4 books, and I think I might just read this for me, like on Christmas Eve, and enjoy it. So I have started it, and it's cute. It's a YA about a bookstore and 2 characters, and it's excellent so far. I mean, I'm like 50 pages in, so I can't say for sure, but that's a little tease for my wrap up if you want to check it out there. But like I said, this vlog was a little bit all over the place, and we only had a couple successes this year, which is unfortunate. But if you have any thoughts or feelings and you want to share with me down below what you thought, please let me know. I'd love to chat about these. I know a lot of people read Wreck the Halls this year and had middling feelings on it, so if you want to talk about that with me, I'd love it. But yeah, if you don't have anything to say and you just want to let me know you were here, leave me like a pine tree emoji, because pine trees are here, and also it was a Christmassy vlog. And yeah, I think that's it for me today. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to see me again, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, and I will see you next time. Bye!